The first point that we need to mention that these idioms would be really helpful to you when it comes to writing informal email or letter that we started already last session, and when it comes to the blog writing. So it would help us in the blog writing, in the informal email or letter, or even when it comes to the article writing, we can use one or a couple of idioms whenever we are writing. So they are really important. That's why we asked you to memorize them. Can I use them in speaking? Of course, you can use them in speaking. You should use some idioms while you are in a speaking exam, but it is not a must in the speaking. You wouldn't find that it has to have an exam. Muhammad Zidane might be later. So last time we spoke about the informal email or letter. We said that the question usually comes as task 2 or task 3 in the paper. If it came task 2, so it would have 3 bullet points to be covered. And if it came as task 3, that it would have 4 bullet points to be covered. Said whenever we are dealing with it, we need to analyze it using a technique. Who can remind me what technique do we use to analyze our task? Hajar, can you remind me?
We use a technique called CARP. C stands for content,
And
A stands for audience, R stands for
register?
I don't remember R, yeah, register, and P stands for purpose.
Yeah, perfect. The register, is it formal or informal or semi-formal? Excellent, Hajar. So as Hajar said, we use CARP to analyze any task. It would be used with any task you are writing, even if you are being prepared in your school according to Cambridge. So use CARP as well for task 5 or 6 in the paper 1 of Cambridge. Here, we use it for task 2, 3, or 4. But as for task 1, we don't use it because it's the picture description, so it wouldn't help us much. But Mr. Right now, you told us that it's supposed to be a content, audience, register, and purpose. The content we said, we would find out how many bullet points, is it task 2 or task 3? And the last bullet point, if it's task 2, it has to be developed well. What do we mean by developed well? So it has to be covered in its own paragraph. If it is task 3, so the last 2 bullet points should be covered well, each one in its own paragraph. Mr. Can you remind us with the question how it looks like? I know that we had homework. I received from some of you, but it was sent really late. So inshallah, I would check them and send them back to you. But I want to show you that all of the exam papers, the test papers of the idioms were checked and given back to you. So thank you so much for this. Now, let me share with you the paper that we were talking about, the writing paper, to remember how the question comes. So here we go. This is the paper of writing. So we would find the first task, as we mentioned before, it's the picture description. I wouldn't use CARP, but here it would be used. Here always they ask us to cover and they tell us you must write. We said content, I would write in front of each point, what would I cover the point with? And the last one, I would say more than 1 point and it has to have its own paragraph. Here we said that this task is out of 12 marks, so the language would be more than only accurate spelling and accurate punctuation. It has to have wide range of vocabulary and wide range of structure. Yes, Muhammad Ahmed Zidane, do you have a question?
How's the reading exam will look
Sorry,
like?
again, Muhammad, what did you say?
How's the reading exam will look like?
Yeah, we would see it, don't worry, but just right now, let me remind you with what we talk in the writing. So as we mentioned in the writing, we took the informal email or letter. So here it would be. This is the content, the C, the 3 bullet points. Then the audience, here it's to a friend. The register, according to the audience, it would be friendly, so it would be informal. And later we would go for the purpose, why we are writing. Here he said advising them, so to advise or to give peaceful advice, sometimes to invite and so on. We'll speak about it more today, inshallah. But actually today we need to start talking about the reading, which is Muhammad Zidan was jumping and asking about. But before we go to the reading, Muhammad, we need to say that whenever we are writing friendly, so I expect you using some of the idioms. And that's why we asked you to memorize the idioms. Would he ever come in the exam telling you what is the meaning of this idiom or use this idiom in a sentence? No, of course. But you need to learn them. So while you are writing the letter, if it's informal, you need to include a couple of idioms, 2 idioms. So right now, you know idioms about every part of the language. So if you are happy, if you are sad, if you are expecting something good to happen, if you're expecting something bad to happen, they're using color ones and so on. So you need to use a couple of idioms while you are writing. Task 3, it's the blog writing. We'll speak about it later, but again, the idioms should be used if you are writing blog writing. If the informal email or letter came as task 3, so it would be the same like here. You would need to cover the 4 bullet points, but the last 2 bullet points should be in detail. So each one would have its own paragraph. So I'd have 1 paragraph for those 2 points, and the last 2 bullet points, each one would be in its own paragraph. We wouldn't talk about the blog right now or the article. We didn't finish even the informal email or letter, but it was a quick revision about what we talked before in the informal email or letter. But if you do remember, before we even started the course, I sent you a book, and this is the book. This book, it covers all of the 3 themes of the subject or of the curriculum. The first theme, which is identity and culture, all about me, keeping in touch, free time activities. Theme 2, which is local, national, international, global areas of interest. You would find 4 units here covering this theme, and another 4 units to cover theme 3, which is current and future study and employment. The first theme, it's covered in 3 units. I'll show you how we would deal with it and why we would deal with it and what parts do we need from this book. This book, if you looked here, Unit 12, it's just extra practice, so some practice papers like the past papers and so on. Here, when it comes to this book, you would find each unit is specified and focuses on one topic from that theme. So for the first one here, it would be focusing on all about me, so you'd find family and friends topics here. What we really care about in these units, whenever you find useful words, most of them you might know them, but you would find a couple of words that you don't know, and here we need to learn these words if we don't know them. So grandfather, grandmother, aunt, uncle, cousin, they are known. But for example, the word niece, some of you might know it and some of you don't know it. So niece, it's the daughter of your brother or the daughter of your sister. So you will be to her aunt or her uncle. So it has to be a girl. If it is a boy, so it would be nephew. So you will be his uncle or his aunt. So the nephew is the son of your brother or your sister. The niece is the daughter of your brother or sister. Great-grandparents, so not grandparents, but even their parents. Brother-in-law is the brother of the husband or brother of the wife. So we call them brother-in-law. Watch out that there is a hyphen between brother and in, and the hyphen between in and law. These hyphens, if they are not used while you are writing, they will be considered punctuation mistakes. So whenever you learn a new word and you find that this new word has a hyphen, so please try to memorize it while you are memorizing the word. Sister-in-law, it's the same but with a female. So sister-in-law, it's the sister of the husband or the sister of the wife. So it's sister-in-law or brother-in-law. Stepfather, it's the father of if someone, his father passed away or died, so the new father would be stepfather, or the person who marries the mother, so it would be stepfather, and here stepmother, the new wife to the father, it would be stepmother. Watch out that stepfather and stepmother, they don't have space in between or even hyphen. It's just one word. When it comes to widow, it's the woman her husband passed away or died. So the woman, her husband died, would call her widow. And if the man, his wife died, we call him widower. These are the words that you need to care about in the first page. Some of these topics in this book, we wouldn't really care about them, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't mean that they are not important, but we take them in more details from our notes. So from the first page here, whenever you find useful words, you have to be sure that you know the meaning of all of them. If you found any word you don't know, so you can go to the dictionary, memorize it. And these words are really important for writing, for speaking, for even listening and reading. You would find some of these words come in rephrasing questions in reading, and I'll show you how the reading paper comes today, inshallah. Then we do have some pictures here. These pictures are based on the theme. And these pictures, you might find them in writing, picture description, like write what you can see, or in the speaking picture description or photo description when I ask you, what can you see in this photo? Usually the photo, if it's picture description and speaking, you would find over it written what theme or what topic it is taken from. You try to describe what you can see according to the topic. So here, all of these pictures resemble family relationships. So father, son. Can I speak what I'm describing about the skin color? Yes, it's not bullying. It's nothing related to discrimination or whatsoever. It's accepted. You can speak about the skin color. Here, for example, it's a family, father, mother, and some siblings, and some of them boys, girls. You can describe the clothes, what colors, if they are smiling, grinning from ear to ear or whatsoever. Here, for example, you would find like what seems to be a grandparent, a mom and a daughter. So they represent 3 different generations. You would find some questions here. Those questions could trigger your ideas about what you can describe. In the exam, you wouldn't find these questions, but here they are there just to help you prepare some ideas about what you can say. So choose a picture, take it in turns to describe the family in the picture and what are they doing, what might they be thinking or feeling. Whenever you say about their feeling, try to relate it to what you can see. So for example, in the first picture, you'd find the boy is grinning from ear to ear, which seems that they are having quality time together, hanging out as they are surrounded by some greenery. It seems that they are enjoying their time. So you just need to relate it to what's there. If you said what seems to be from Eastern countries because of their costumes, it's totally fine, as the mother is wearing hijab, even the old daughter is wearing hijab, it's totally fine. And you need to go through these questions, find out what they refer to or what they represent. These might help you even to prepare ideas for later on in speaking and in writing. While you are writing the picture description, we already spoke about it many times, but again, when we are writing the picture description, we do not need linking words. We do not need introduction or conclusion. We just go with this picture depicts or shows, and you would give the general idea. So what seems to be a happy family, since they are all grinning from ear to ear. Full stop. In the background, I can see some greenery and what seems to be a daytime, since the light reflects on the ground. Full stop. Another one, it seems to be a grandparent and grandmother. They are sitting in the middle on a bench, and a father is sitting in the far behind the grandfather, while the mother and the daughter are sitting here. So you are just giving some facts, can speak about the colors of their clothes to give some description and so on. This is just all kind of revision for what we talked before. But what is really important when it comes to this book? So here, some pictures that you can prepare yourself. Even you'd find a lot of questions, past paper questions I included to you in the notes that you have for speaking and for picture description as well. but especially speaking. When it comes to reading and listening, those are really important. Why? Because it's a part and parcel. Part and parcel, it's an idiom, which means like really important. It's part of it. So part and parcel from the exam of reading. Here, he wouldn't give you exactly the same like example. He would give you exactly the same type of questions. A text that you have, you would find some keywords and their meaning in the glossary here. So for example, physical and mental and the meaning of each one. Some of the words you might find that they are simple to you. Some of the words might be new to you. You need to know them. Then you would find some questions asking about information from there. So for example, here it says, look at paragraph 1. How can a pet help some people feel happier? Give 2 ways. This is exactly the same way that comes in the exam of reading. One good point about Oxford, which is not there in Cambridge, is that here he tells you where you would find the answer, which paragraph you would find the answer. In Cambridge, he just asks you the question and you need to skim and scan during the exam time to get the answer from all of the text. But here he doesn't just give you the question and you need to find the answer in the text. You need to find it in a specific paragraph that he tells you, except if it is main topic. But here, for example, he tells paragraph 1. The second question, he told you paragraph 2. But there are some silly points that they care about in Oxford. So for example, when he asks you to list, like give 2 points or listing, he would care about using a verb in your answer. In Cambridge, they don't really care about it, but here they care about giving a verb so the sentence should make sense. It doesn't have to be a really long one, but it's supposed to make sense. This is the point in Oxford, which is a bit different than Cambridge. Ahmed Zidane not now, so please focus on this. So this is the part which is here. But how do we answer? We usually say we need to skim and scan the text. So, Mr. What do you mean by skim and scan? Anyone can tell us about skimming and scanning? Any idea about skimming and scanning? Muhammad Ahmed Rashwan.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any idea about the differences between skimming and scanning?
Mm, Skimming means reading thoughtfully, like trying to look at the answer and that stuff. But scanning is just a brief look about the paragraph given.
Thank you so much, Muhammad Ahmed Rashwan. Muhammad Ahmed Rashwan switched them. So
Okay.
thank you so much. But skimming, it's just getting the general idea. So you skim through it. So while you are skimming the text, it shouldn't take with you like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And when you skim, you wouldn't be able to answer every single point. But at the end of skimming, if I asked you, what is the topic about, you would be able just to tell me quickly what is the topic about. While I'm skimming, I'm not trying to find answers. I'm not trying even to understand every single word. I'm just getting the general idea. And scanning, it's like when you scan every single part, you are trying to search for a specific answer. But usually I tell you scan first, go through the text first, even before going to the questions. Go through the text first, get a general idea. And it should be 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes. Here in Oxford, they do something good, which they don't give you the whole text at once. They give it to you parts. So you wouldn't need to skim all of the text. You would skim only the part that they give to you. And while you are skimming this, once you finish skimming this, go to the questions. Don't answer. Go back and try to scan to get the correct points. So here, for example, the first question was saying, by the way, this book, you already have it. So if you want to open it from your computer, it's totally fine. So here he says, look at paragraph 1. How can a pet help some people feel happier? He asked for 2 ways. Let's get back and we'll try to find out the 2 ways. Reem, if you don't mind, can you read to us the first paragraph? Will your next best friend be a robot? If you don't mind, Reem. Thank you so much, Muhammad Ahmed Rashwan.
We humans need other humans. Family and friends are important for our happiness throughout our lives, but sometimes it isn't possible to have the close friendships we need. We all know how people may turn to a pet as a companion. Everyone can see the benefits of owning a pet. Someone who loves you and is a friend to talk to after a bad day. Someone who does not judge you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So the answer, thank you, Reem. The answer is in the paragraph that Reem read. How would I get the answer? First, while I'm reading the question, try to underline the keywords. Because there is a common mistake that we usually find and underline from excellent students, that they don't get the keywords, and you'd find that their answers are not relevant. So what happens here? How can a pet help some people feel happier? So the keywords, always the question word is a keyword. Sometimes you'd find that you came late for the class, so the teacher is asking you, he entered the class before you, so he asks you, where were you? So, or he asks you, why are you late? So he asked, why are you late? The keyword here is why. He's waiting for a reason. So why are you late? You would say, I was in the canteen. I was in the canteen. Canteen, it's not a reason. Canteen, it's a place. Like if he was asking you, where were you? So I was in the canteen, it's not the proper answer. If the teacher accepted and let you in, it's not accepted in the reading. You need to watch out for the question and ask yourself before even reading, before even getting to scan the text, what could be the answer? So how here it has to be a question word. Pet, it's a keyword. Help, it's a keyword. And people feel happier, it's another key phrase or keyword. Here in the paragraphs that Reem read, what could be the answers? How a pet can help people to feel better. He told you that the answer is in paragraph 1, and Reem already read excellently paragraph 1. Does anyone find the answer? Yusuf Ala. Yusuf Ala. I think yes. Yes, Yusuf. Did you get the answer from paragraph 1 about this question? Yusuf, we can't hear you. Kindly try to fix your microphone. Okay, Omar Rifai. Yusuf, we can't hear you at all. Omar Rifai.
Hello.
Yes, hello. Yes, I would come back to you again, Yusuf, but Omar Rifai now, can you?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Can you hear me?
Omar, did you find any piece of information related to the question that we have just read from this paragraph?
I think the before last line.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell me exactly the piece of information?
Someone who loves you and is a friend to talk to after a bad day. Someone who does not judge you.
Okay, perfect. Exactly. As you mentioned, and as some other answered like Reem and so on in the chat. Excellent. So here actually they asked for 2, and the good point about Oxford, that when they ask you about 2, be sure that there are 3 or more. So here he wanted 2, he asked you for 2. So everyone can see, so here, someone who loves you, this is 1. Someone who is a friend to talk after a bad day, this is another 1. Someone who doesn't judge you, this is the 3rd one. But mister, isn't it just the same one? Here, someone who loves you and is a friend to talk to you? No, here they are 2 pieces of information. Because he asked you clearly in the question, give 2 ways, and those were 3 ways. So any 2 of them would be accepted. But mister, what if I wrote the 3? He will check only the first 2. So if the first 2 are correct, he wouldn't read the 3rd one. What if the first 2, one of them is wrong? He will not read the 3rd one. He will give you only 1. What if both of them are wrong? He will give 0. So what does it mean? It means that you don't need to write all of what you found, but write the ones that you are really sure about. Mister, here, question 2 says, look at paragraph 2. Give 2 ways a pet can improve people's physical health. So the keywords, give 2 ways. So he wants 2 ways. A pet, another keyword. Improve, this is another keyword, physical health for people. So how could it happen? Muhammad Ahmed Zidane, if you don't mind, can you read paragraph 2? And again, the good point here that they tell you where exactly you would find the answer. So here we'd find the answer in paragraph 2. Now,
Now scientists in the USA have proved that it can improve physical health too. They studied two groups of people, one group that owned pets and one group that did. They put both groups of people in stressful situations. The study showed that risk and blood pressure were half as high in the pet owning group than in the other. Other remarkable studies have shown that when you stroke a cat and listen to it soothing, or not only does it relieve mental stress, but it actually speeds up the healing of broken bones.
perfect, Muhammad. Thank you so much. What I would ask you to do right now, I would ask you to get your answers and send them in private chat between you and me, not on WhatsApp here, but on the chat. And not in the general room, but between you and me. The question again here was saying, look at paragraph 2, give 2 ways. A pet can improve, like makes it better, like enhances people's physical health. The people's physical health. The paragraph again is here. So read and find the 2 answers. Write them to me on chat and send them. I started already receiving some. Actually, Reem, no, we would continue with Oxford. I will tell you why. Reem had a question here, which is a really nice one. Reem was asking, would we be trained on Oxford or Cambridge? Because some schools prepare students first with Cambridge for reading and listening, then they go to Oxford. Why do they do this trick? They do it for 2 reasons, Reem. One of them, just because not a lot of past papers are there for Oxford, so they cannot prepare all of these. But alhamdulillah, I already prepared for the whole year, so don't worry. This is one point. Another point, Reem, you would find that some schools want to prepare students for what is really hard, then they take them to what it could be a bit easier. Yes, listening in Oxford, it could be a bit easier, but it's not easy because it has different requirements. So what I think that preparing a student for Cambridge, then switching to Oxford, they really get stuck. A student who could have got a rank, he would, yes, get the A star, but he wouldn't be able to get the rank. Why? Because he's used to think in one way, then you shifted the way. So we don't prefer this. If you want to make more practice, I can send you to materials. I already have groups for Cambridge. But since you're taking Oxford, be specific, continue with Oxford, it would be way better for you. Why? Because in listening and in reading in Oxford, you would find some rephrasing questions. They are not there in Cambridge. So when you will be able to prepare for them. So continue Oxford, don't worry. In case if you need extra practice for Cambridge, a lot are there we can give. But I focus on Oxford from day 1 till you go, so you can go and get your exam, your A star, inshallah. So if you found the answers, kindly send them. Here I started to receive. You sent one, Muhammad Ahmed Rashwan. There is another one. He asked for 2 pieces of information. Again, Omar Rifai, it's only one. Iyad, don't send it in the general. Iyad, send it privately. Yes, one of them, but we need 2 Iyad. And try to send it privately. Kareem, I received your 2 ones. Ahmed Zidane.
Doctor, can you show the question again?
The question again, we were asking about 2 ways that people who have pets can help you to improve your physical health. Physical health, so it's the health which is related to do what to do with the body, not only mental with mind, but body. How the body of people who have pets would be better or improved. Healing. Okay, thank you, Reem. Omar Wali, you sent one. We need two. Omar. Roger sent both of them. Okay, thank you. Omar Wali, thank you, Roger. Hearing broken bones. Okay, that's amazing. But let me share with you the answers for those
Currently, sir,
two ones. Yes, I think someone here, Iyad Amr, sent them. So it's all good job, Iyad. طيب, let's look together here.
what about me?
Yes, I saw it, Muhammad Zidane. Now I'm showing you the answers, and let's compare what you said to the exact answer. So here, for the second question, any two from lowers blood pressure. The problem is what some students give me the opposite, not lowers, it rises. They are comparing between the group which have the bet and the group that doesn't have. How it would help? It helps by lowering blood pressure, improves bone density, and speeds up bone healing. Any two of them are accepted. What if I gave the first one wrong? I said instead of lowers, rises. Then I give another two correct. Only one mark you will receive. The first one, which was mistake, it's considered. They check only the first two. They don't even look at the third one, whether the first two were correct or wrong. Using a verb is really important. Lowers, improves speed. Using the verb is extremely important whenever he asks you to give or to list, so it's really important to use a verb. Missed the one before, we said it loves you, it listens to you, it doesn't judge you, so any of these would be accepted. But let's go to the third question here. Look at paragraph 3. Copy the table opposite and tick to show the ways the robot cat is similar to and different from a real cat. One tick has been done for you. I wouldn't ask you to do it right now. So question 3 and question 4 would be homework, and I would show you the rest of the homework of this book, but just I wanted to show you how do we deal with this. Now, Mr. How would it come in the official exam itself? Marwan Muhammad, I saw your answers. Thank you so much. Now let me show you the exam of the Oxford Read. Here's the paper of the exam. The exam is 4 tasks, as I told you in the first session. Each task carries a specific amount of marks. The first one, it's the most accessible, 6 marks, should guarantee the marks of it, all multiple choice. Second task, it's out of 12. And each task you'd find that we are increasing 6 marks. So the first one 6, second one 12, third one 18, last one 24. The total mark is 60, and it carries 30% of the examinations. Unfortunately, a lot of students drop marks in reading. Not because they don't understand it, but because the way they answer. So for example, they got used, and this is one of the problems, Reem, about preparing about in Cambridge, then going to Oxford. In Cambridge, we accept fragments in reading, not in writing, of course. But in reading, we accept just the answer. And in reading in Cambridge, we accept if you copied the answer as it is from the text and you wrote it. But in Oxford, it's not like this at all. And students got prepared in Cambridge. Then before the official, once they finish grade 9, they want to go to grade 10. So they take Oxford. Another point, most students in grade 10, they are taking a lot of subjects. They are taking 7 subjects or 6. So they try to take Oxford in October, November, in the English, with another subject or another 2 subjects. So the time is really short to be prepared for Oxford. They go and answer in the same technique that they used to in Cambridge. And at the end of the day, they drop a lot of marks. Why? Because they weren't prepared well. Because they are answering according to the Cambridge rule. I don't want students to get mixed between here and there. So if you are taking Oxford, just focus on Oxford. If you are taking Cambridge, just focus on Cambridge. Of course, Oxford would be better because Oxford, the curve is lower than Cambridge. But now, Mr. We understood this part, and here we do have the first task, which is the most accessible one. It starts with a letter, this letter out of approximately 250 words, and it's divided into 2 parts. The first part is only 2 paragraphs like this. and the second part is another 2 paragraphs. All of it is just 1 letter. And you'd find 3 questions about first part and 3 questions about the second part. Here it's really skimming and scanning and really simple. You are not writing, you are just picking the correct answer. And you'd find it's direct. Only the last question, which could be not direct, question number 6, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would find they are piece of cake. So when did Hong go to the restaurant? If you looked here, I hope you are keeping well, Yuxuan. I had a very nice meal with my family last week to celebrate my birthday. We went to the restaurant at 7:30. So it's direct question. When did they go? 7:30. The problem that happens here sometimes, because students go used to Cambridge again, that they just circle the answer here wrong. It will not be accepted. You have to write it inside the box. What if I circled it here? No, mister, it will not be accepted. The answer has to be written here. Okay, so this is the first part, or how can we deal with this? Second part, it's the second question, the same, how much did the whole meal cost? You'd find it's really direct, but the questions which could be a bit not direct when it comes to the main point or the main purpose of the paragraph, and sometimes it could be about the whole letter. Here he asked about the main point of paragraph 2, and last question, question number 6, you would find that he asked about the main purpose of the second part of the email. What is the main purpose and what is the main idea? When he speaks about the main point or the main idea, he means the dominating idea, because you would find 2 out of the 3 options that he gave are there. So he said, for example, to describe the Indian food, or to describe the meal as a whole, or to describe the vegetarian options. 2 of them you would find they are included, but actually only one of them was the dominating idea. What do you mean by dominating idea, Mr.? The idea that was mentioned many times. The idea that he started with and ended with. Even if he didn't start with and ended with, but it's the one that the whole paragraph was talking about. But let's try to find here, what is the main idea point of paragraph 2? Is it to describe the Indian food, or is it to describe the meal as a whole, or is it to describe the vegetarian options? Let's go to paragraph 2, which was here. Muhammad Ala Rajdan, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't mind, can you?
Read it. Should I read?
Yes.
I hope you're keeping well. Yeah, what's this name?
The name of the student, Indian restaurant? No, I don't want you to start from X1, from paragraph 1. The question was asking about paragraph 2.
Okay, we usually go to Indian restaurants, but this time we went to a Turkish restaurant. We had some very nice starters served with bread. Then we had a very large plate with all different kinds of meat and chicken, which we could share. There were also vegetarian options. The whole meal cost £100, which meant that it cost £20 each, as there were 5 of us.
Excellent, Muhammad. Thank you so much. So, as Muhammad excellently read, we usually go to the Indian instance, but this time we went to Turkish one. We had some very nice starters served with bread. Then we had very large plate with all different kinds of meat and chicken, which we could share. There were also vegetarian options. The whole meal costed whatever. So here, what would be the main point of this paragraph? To describe the Indian food, or to describe the meal as a whole, or to describe the vegetarian options? What do you think, Hajar?
Option B, to describe the meal as a whole.
Okay, so to describe the meal that they had, right? Top. Did he speak about vegetarian options? He spoke about them. But is it the main idea? No. Did he describe Indian food? No, he didn't describe Indian food. He just said we usually used to go to the Indian restaurants, but it wasn't there at all. But you'd find B and C are the focal points which were there, but one of them is the dominating. As Hajar mentioned, it's to describe the meal as a whole. The other one, was it mentioned or not? Yes, it was mentioned, but is it dominating idea? No, so it's not the main point of this. Again, task 1 is always a bit simple. It's not saying Muhammad Ahmed Zidane, but it's a bit simple, all right? Okay, so Indian food, of course, he didn't try to describe Indian food here. Now, when we come to the second part, Last question, the main purpose. What do we mean by purpose? If you remember when we were describing how to analyze the task of writing, we said we do have carb, content, audience, register, purpose. Purpose is the aim, the goal, why you are writing. Here it would be why the person wrote this part, wrote it. So what is the main purpose of the second part of the email? The second part of the email, we would go and read it right now, but let's find out what was the main purpose. Is it to ask Yuxuan? It's a Chinese name, by the way. I do have a Chinese student in my class, and he knows how to read these names because they are not read like what we read. To take part in the quiz, or to persuade Yuxuan to go to university, or to ask Yuxuan some science questions. We'd go back, you'd find two options are mentioned, but only one of them, which is the correct answer. So let's find out with each other. Is it to ask X1 to take part in the quiz, or to persuade him to go to university, or to ask him some science questions? If you don't mind, can you Omar Wali? Omar Wali.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, can we read this part? Our college?
Our college is going to take a part in an inter-college quiz. There will be 10 colleges, including ours. We have to send a team of between 3 and 5 students. I am going to be the captain, and I can choose the students. Would you like to be part of the team? I know that you are very good at science, so you can help the team with the science questions in the exam, in the quiz. I am good at history, so I can answer the history questions. There will be 5 sections altogether. The quiz is on Saturday, 9th of December at 11 a.m. It will finish at 2 p.m. It will take place at King Charles University, and we can go on a tour of the university when the quiz has finished. It would be great if you could be part of the team. Hong.
Okay, thank you so much. So here, after reading the second part of the email, what was the main purpose? Is it to ask X1 to take part in the quiz, or to persuade X1 to go to university, or to ask X1 some science questions? What did you find, Fatima, the answer to be? Is it A, B, or C? Fatima?
Yes, Mister. I think it will be A.
It
To
would be
ask
to ask X1 to take part in the quiz. I do agree with you. Yes, it is A. He was trying to ask him to take part, and that's why you would find I tried to highlight some parts while we are reading. The point is what to write the answer inside the box after you got the answer. So the questions aren't hard for the first task. They are accessible. You can get them. Second part, it's task 2. Again, my dear students, you would find all of the reading texts about the 3 themes. So the first one about university. If you remember in the speaking, I was usually asking you, what do you want to study university? Can you tell me about? So this is theme 3. The second one, it's visiting Qatar here. You would find he's talking about another country traveling and so on. And it's theme 2. When I asked you if you had the chance to travel, where would you go? Or what do you usually take with you while you are traveling? So here it is about this part. Again, the task would be divided, but here you would find that the word limit is more. The first one, it was like 250 divided into 2 parts. But here it's like 450 divided into 2 parts as well. But the questions would be a bit different. It's not really multiple choice questions like the first task. Here he would ask you to write some answers, like the one that we were doing in the book that I started with you with. So here, from paragraph 1, give one example of why Doha is a popular destination. So give one example, like the one that we answered in the text, when the text was asking about 2. Here it's just one he asked. Whenever he asks for 1, be sure that he would give 2 or 3. And this is one good point about Oxford, by the way. How long is Qatar's coastline? So here he's asking about skimming and scan question. You need to find out there. Usually he gives you distractors. So if he asked you a question about the coastline, how long it is, you would find 2 numbers, two spaces, or 2 destinations, or even 2 distances are given. But which one is here? You need to find out the keywords of the question to be able to get the correct answer. What if I wrote two answers, only the first one would be checked, the second one wrong, correct? He will not check it. The first one wrong, so it's 0. First one it's correct, so it's correct. Here, from paragraph 2, list 2 water sports activities. So he gives you 2 lines, each one should be written in its own line. Mister, I wrote 2 in the first line, he will not check the second one. And we always tell students, please write 1 in each line to be neat, because he will not check more than 2 pieces of information. You wrote 2 in the first line and you wrote 2 in the second line, he will check only the first line. But why would you make your writing scrambled and so on? Make it neat. So 1 here and 1 there. But it could be wrong, Mr. He will not check the third one. Wrong, correct, just to be sure that you wrote the ones that you are sure about in the beginning, all right? This is the point here. Okay, so I understood your point, Reem. Let's continue. Yes, I understand the answer that you give. But the point is what? Yes, I know that they say that Oxford makes it harder or whatever, but it's not harder, it's not simpler. They are just strict in checking. And Oxford, it's not about being hard, it's about just understanding what they need. Because I'll tell you what, when they ask you to give or to list, they care about a verb. If the student give the answer, like in Cambridge, but he didn't give the verb, they will not consider his answer. If he's asking you to rephrase questions, and you would see the rephrasing questions, which could be a bit of headache to some students, but if you have a good level of vocabulary, these questions for you would be a piece of cake. And that's why from the beginning of our course, I sent you improving writing style with a lot of vocabulary, a lot of idioms in the back, and you would find from time to time, I'm asking you to memorize, and we have a test or an exam about that. So I would be sure that you have a lot of vocab, a lot of ideas, a lot of, for speaking and writing and so on, and a lot of idioms, so they would be really helpful to you while you are answering the exams. So don't worry, don't go with the rumors, just focus with us, and inshallah we'll be able to go to the level that we want. Here, he asked for listing 2 water sports, write them each one on a line. Which idea you need to give the answer here for question number 10. Again, according to the text, we didn't read the text, so wouldn't be answered right now. Which 2 statements are correct? Write the correct letters in the boxes, and he gives you 4. 2 of them are correct and 2 of them are wrong. He wants you to write the 2 letters, if it's A, B, or B, C, or C, D, whatever, you would write a letter here and a letter there. But Mr. He told us that we have to write the answer inside the box. What if I wrote the answer inside the box, then I changed my mind, I found that it's wrong. Make a new box and write the answer, and be sure that you scratch the wrong one. Because if you did scratch the wrong one, so right now he has 3 answers. He will check the first ones and he wouldn't care about the last. So be sure that you scratch the one that you did, and your answers, please, because some of students in their handwriting, they write the A like D or B like C. Please be sure that your answer is clear, because if he found it's confusing, he will consider it 0. Whether it's A or B, even if it's one of the answers, he will not consider the answer. So be sure. You circle the answer here, he will not give you a mark. That's what they say about Oxford, that they make it harder, but it's not hard. Just if you understood it, if you had a lot of questions being answered, it would be a piece of cake, inshallah, and you would be able to go to the correct answer. Here you would find always some distractors. So if he gives you 4, only 2 of them are correct. But the other 2 ones, you would find one of them is a bit distractor. You would find that, for example, Qatar cares for its environment. So here you would find the answer, if it's correct, if it's wrong, you would find just 1 word is the wrong one. Or one, the whale sharks are in zoos. So you might find the white sharks are in zoos. So white sharks and whale sharks, it's not the same, so it will not be considered as correct answer. So watch out that the answer that you got is exactly what was there in the text. Here, the questions which are a bit challenging to students. Here, it depends on the level of vocabulary of students. That's why we say from day one, we have to build good vocabulary. The writer says, lively and diverse. Explain in your own words what the phrase lively and diverse means. Here, when he asks you to do this, he wants you to use synonyms for the word lively and diverse, but not only synonyms that you memorize, synonyms that could work with the text. So he says in paragraph 5, so you need to go back to paragraph 5 and find where is this phrase and what did it mean here. So Doha also, if you do not mind, can you please, Marwan Muhammad, read to us this paragraph. Doha also has.
Doha also has a thriving culture, so culture enthusiasts will also
Yes.
find plenty to explore in Doha, including the stunning National Museum of Qatar and the world-class Museum of Islamic Art. The city's heritage is both lively and diverse.
Thank you so much. So here, lively, it's an adjective. Diverse, it's another adjective. I need to rephrase them with another 2 words. Do not write a whole story, please. The word, give it a word. If I don't know a word for it, insert a phrase. But do not explain it in a... And don't say lively means and diverse means. If you used lively, then you give the synonym, he will not accept it. And these are the points, Reem, that we were talking about. These are the points that the examiners say, but it's not clear. It's clear, but please understand them. So don't write lively means X. Just say the meaning. And don't rephrase by saying it's lively or full of life. Now, full of life, it's correct answer. But lively, you mentioned it before full of life. So he will not accept the answer from you, although you give it correct. I have some scripts from May, June 2025 students who went to do the exam. Then they asked for their paper to recheck it. And the students give the correct answer. But after they mentioned the word, so they didn't accept. After they wrote, I don't know, and it might be their teachers told this to them, that you need to explain. It's not about explaining. He told you 2 words, give him 2 words. And those 2 words should give the same meaning in the text because each word has something called connotation and something called denotation. Again, each word has something called connotation and something called denotation. I'll tell you the difference between them and then try to tell me which one do we need. The connotation of the word, it's the meaning of the word connected to the text or connected to the sentence, called connotation, from the word connect or connection. So connotation. The denotation, it's the meaning of the word in general. Like when you open the dictionary, you would find it as a definition or as a synonym. So, and the denotation coming from definitions. So which one do you think that we need? Do you think that we need the connected meaning, the connotation, or the denotation? What do you think, Omar Wali? Do we need?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Do we need, when we ask for rephrasing, do we need the connected meaning to the text or the definition in the dictionary?
The connected the meaning in the text.
Excellent. So I need the connotation. Mr. But this word is the synonym for this. Excellent. Is it the meaning that we intended here? I'll tell you what. One of the questions I was asking a student, and he needed to rephrase the word pupil. No, it wasn't pupil. It was people. So the sentence says, the teacher wanted people in the class to answer the quiz. And while he was rephrasing the word people, he said students, and it was excellent answer. But people doesn't mean students. If you went to any definition, it wouldn't mean this. But the connected meaning here, who would be answering? The students. So it was accepted. It was the correct answer. So try to get the connected meaning to this one. If I'm going to rephrase lively, I can say full of life, or I can say, I found some students even here trying to send some answers. So I might say, yes, correct connotation, Muhammad Ahmad Ashwan. So I can say full of life, or I can say energetic, or I can say any word that gives this meaning. Energetic, active would be accepted for lively. Diverse means varied, it means different, and so on. You can get it from the meaning and give them, even if you don't know the word, but we need to memorize some words, of course, so we'd be able to do this. So while I'm rephrasing lively and diverse, I would say active and different. That would be perfect. Some students said full of life, accepted. although it's not one word, but it gives the meaning and it was accepted by Oxford as well. Here again, which two answers? So you would be answering the first two ones. The main purpose, we already answered one like this, but of course here it would be about the whole text. So the text here is not like the letter. You need to understand all of the text to be able to answer. Again, two ones you would find could be confusing. Is it compare or to describe or persuade? But the dominating one is the one that we need. This is text 2. And we would have the homework about this, text 1 and text 2. Text 3, of course, more challenging. Text 4 would be even more challenging, but we'll talk about them later on, inshallah. Text 1 and text 2, it's the first two texts out of 4 texts in reading. We covered them today. Of course, each exam has different contexts, but you would find, or different comprehensions, but you would find the same types of questions. Listing questions, multiple choice, rephrasing questions. Rephrasing questions are the ones that some students find a bit challenging because the level of vocab. Here it's totally different from Cambridge. And that's why I say, yes, I understand that some schools prepare students for Cambridge, but as I told you, because of the lack of resources for Oxford, so they wouldn't be able to take the whole year for it. Only one book that I shared with you, and some other times because they find that Cambridge might be a bit more challenging, so they want to prepare students for what's challenging, then they would go to what could be a bit easier. It's not easier, it's not more challenging, but the curve in Cambridge is actually really high. So if a student dropped 9 marks in all of the exams of Cambridge, they will not be able to take the 9 or the A-star. But in Oxford, the 9 is 177, for example, last session, 177, so 23 marks and you are still 9. 8, it was 164, so 36 marks and you are still there. It's not like invitation to drop marks because they are really strict in checking in Oxford. But even if you dropped 5 marks in each paper, you would be able to go to the 9 and start. And students who are able, students who can achieve, they can get the 200, they can go to a rank, getting the first all over the world. Of course, it's a really nice point to be written in your application for universities and for yourself when you know that you were the first all over the world in one of the examinations. It means a lot. Prepare yourself well, avoid being distracting yourself between one board to the other. Just focus on one point. It would be, of course, really good to you. Would we have a test next one, Muhammad Ahmed Rashdan? No, it's not a test, but I would send you some materials to be answered. We would have a test every month. We had one for this month. Inshallah, next month we would have another one. It wouldn't be idiom, of course. It would be reading or writing about the ones that we talked about. Returning back to the book, so we understood why we are answering these comprehensions. Each unit would have 2 reading comprehensions. The first one that I showed you right now, you would answer question number 3 and question number 4 as homework. 3 here, look at the paragraph, and 4 here. You would answer those 2 ones as homework. Then we do have here vocabulary. I'm not asking you to answer the exercises of vocabulary, but what I'm asking you to do, whenever you find a box of vocabulary, if you know the words, it's totally fine. If you don't know the words, you have to write them. Here you would find some individual differences. What do I mean by this? So for example, X, a student called X, he knows 4 out of these 5 words, but he doesn't know the solitude, for example. So he needs to go to his notes, or she needs to go to her notes and write the new words to her. Make to yourself from today like a note for the vocabulary. Whenever you find a new word in this book or in the reading papers while you are answering, it's new to you, write it and write its meaning. Why? Because again, all of these vocab are a high possibility to be repeated in your exams. Why? Because all of the exams roam around the 3 themes. You would find some questions of writing are being repeated from a session to another session. The same question came in October, November 2023. It was the same, the informal email letter in 2024, May, June. So could it be repeated? Yes. So why shouldn't I prepare myself well? All of the vocab that you find here new to you, find the word, put it, learn how could it be used in a question, and go for it. Muhammad Ahmed Rajdan, you do have a question? Muhammad Rajdan, you have a question?
What does solitude mean?
Sorry?
What does solitude mean?
It means being alone, solitude, being alone. And here we do have depression and anxiety. So if you found any word that you don't know, you need to write it in your notes. طب, I can share with you a dictionary website for Oxford and Cambridge. You can just write the word. It will give you the word with the meaning and in a sentence. Challenge yourself by creating a new sentence for it. So would it be only here? No, as I told you, anywhere you need to use it. If it's reading paper, if it's the book, any vocab new to you in this book or in the reading paper, please try to write it to yourself. Then the grammar, forget about the grammar, we'll take improving writing style in more
Sir, can I just use the ChatGPT for the meanings?
You can, but actually I don't trust ChatGPT in all of the answers. Yes, most of its answers are correct, but sometimes it gives wrong answers. So yes, you can use some of AI ones, but I don't trust them on all of the questions. But with vocabulary, it would be okay because they search it in dictionaries. So you can use them in vocabulary. But some of the points, Muhammad, you would find that ChatGPT, even when it gives you the answer and you tell him, are you sure, he would tell you, let me check again. So it's not guaranteed as a scientific resource. But you can use it for vocabulary because vocabulary, yes, they do well in it. Write out all of the, again, when it comes to grammar in this book, we wouldn't care about it. Why? Because we take it in more details and in better way in improving writing style. We started with the sentence types, and then we took the punctuation in more details than here. Here he's talking about the verb subject, so it's really simple. We don't really care about it. But if we found anything good, we would take it while we are going. Here it's subject verb agreement. He tells it about present simple only. When we take it in improving writing style, you would find that we take it for all tenses. So it would be way better than the way that they give here. We would skip the points here, which we will take there in more details and in a better way. Simple past and all of these, we don't really care about them. Listening, yes, we care. And the listening, how do we answer the listening part in this book? You do have the book. I already sent it to you. But you need the audio tracks. I will send them to you. I will send you, for example, the first 5 units. You would find the questions there, and before the question, he would tell you which audio. So here it's audio 1.1. What about these questions here? He was just telling you how to answer. He wants you to follow a technique that we'd speak about right now, but let me just first tell you how you would answer. You would find audio, and you would find the questions. In the exam, you listen to each audio 2 times. So when I send you the audio, you can listen to it 2 times. Don't listen the 3rd time. Mister, I didn't get the answer. Okay, you can listen 3rd time so you can get the answer, but if you go to try to avoid listening again to be sure. In the exam, Mr. Would I listen 3 times? No, it's only 2 times. Why would we be able to listen 2 times right now? Because you are learning, and the listening gets improved by practicing more and more. So if I didn't get it, listen again. But in the exam, you wouldn't be able to. But it's just because we are practicing from a book right now. But in the mock exams, in the official exams, in the tests that we do have, in the past papers answers, we would listen only twice. And I'll tell you what, the good point about Oxford, the listening is a bit slow. Comparing it to Cambridge, it's a bit faster. Vocab are being used there are higher. Here you would find that it's really simple. Yes, first text or the first question in the listening is simpler than the other ones, and the other ones would be more advanced. But even when it comes to the most advanced one, you would find it's not compared to Cambridge at all. Here, how many questions did the history teacher set the class? So again, you would read the question before you listen. In the official exam and in the past papers, you would find that they give you 5 minutes to go through the paper before you even start answering. It doesn't happen in Cambridge. In Cambridge, you just listen and answer. Then at the end, they give you 6 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet or to the bubble sheet. But here, no, we don't have bubble sheet. Your answers would be on the paper, but you would take 5 minutes before you even listen to go through the paper, find your questions, expect your answers, understand the questions, read the options, and so on. In Cambridge, all multiple choice, but here it's not all multiple choice. Yes, the first question is multiple choice, but later you'd find that you need to write some answers. How can I answer, mister? Read the questions before you listen and expect what could be the answer. Find your keywords. Even without reading the answers here, he says, how many? So he's asking about a number. So 1, 2, 5, 4, 7. How many questions? So a keyword here, questions, no answers, nothing else. Did the history teacher, so the history teacher, not the English one, history teacher, not the assistant, set the class? Okay, so how many questions did the history teacher set the class? So I now have my keywords. I can underline them in the exam paper. Totally fine. Which homework? So I would choose one out of 2 or more. Did the girl, not the boy, because I might have a boy, so I'm trying to expect. Find the most difficult. So here another keyword, not the most easy or the most accessible one or whatsoever. In the exam, it might not say to you difficult, it might say challenging. So they play with the synonyms. They might say, for example, requiring. So any other word that means that it wasn't easy. So you would go for this. What is wrong? So you need to go through them and expect what could be the answer. And understand the words. Try to find some other synonyms that you might hear for and expect the answer. Tell yourself, it might be English. But mister, it doesn't have to be English. Of course, it doesn't have to be English. But you would be more attentive to the answer when it comes. When you predict the answer, what could it be? So this is the point that we need to focus on while we are doing. Read the questions, find your keywords, and expect what the answer could be. I would get you to listen to this part and you would see how accessible it is. The questions are in front of you right now. I'll get you to listen to the audio and please try to answer the questions from 1 to 8. And this is the exact way that would come, inshallah, in the official for text 1. Text 1, as I told you, is always the, I wouldn't say easiest, but the most accessible one. So let's answer it and inshallah you'll be able to get them well. Let me share with you the audio tracks.
Internet.
International GCSE English as a second language for Oxford International AQA examinations. Copyright 2017, Oxford University Press. Unit 1, Audio 1.1.
I thought our history homework was really hard last night. We had to write an essay and answer 10 tricky questions. Luckily, the English work was quick and easy. We were asked to read 15 pages of the class novel and prepare a talk. The music teacher forgot it was homework night.
Now we will listen again. Try to answer the first 2 questions.
International GCSE English as a second language for Oxford International AQA examinations. Copyright 2017, Oxford University Press. Unit 1, Audio 1.1.
I thought our history homework was really hard last night. We had to write an essay and answer 10 tricky questions. Luckily, the English work was quick and easy. We were asked to read 15 pages of the class novel and prepare a talk. The music teacher forgot it was homework night.
Okay, so let's answer the other 2 ones. Read the questions quickly. Oh, the questions aren't shared, Muhammad? Sorry, let me share them one time. The book, by the way, you already have it, but you can take a screenshot right now while we are in the class. But the book, you already have it. I already sent it to the group because someone was asking me right now, Mr., where can we find the book? The book is in the group before we even started the course. You can take a screenshot of the 8 questions. And if you did answer the first 2 questions because you weren't able to see them, I can get you to listen to them one more time. Yes, Muhammad Ahmed Zidan, the book is there in the... Iyad, do you have a question? Yeah, okay, Iyad, you are answering. I would check with you the answers at the end, but look at the questions again. Take a screenshot, please, out of them, so you would be able to answer while you are listening, okay? Should we listen again to the first audio?
Yes.
Yes, okay, Muhammad, we will listen. But we'll listen only once, okay? Only once for the first. Did you take the screenshot? So can we?
Mister, which page is this in the book?
Did you open the book, Muhammad, right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Which book?
So it's
Which page?
unit 1, you would find it page 11. Can you see it? Page 11. The book, as I told you, sent to the group before we even started. But it's okay right now in front of you if you can't access it, so take a screenshot of it. Now I will share with you the audio track of the first one more time. Only once, then we'd go to the next one.
International GCSE English as a Second Language for Oxford International AQA Examinations. Copyright 2017, Oxford University Press. Unit 1, Audio 1.1.
I thought our history homework was really hard last night. We had to write an essay and answer 10 tricky questions. Luckily, the English work was quick and easy. We were asked to read 15 pages of the class novel and prepare a talk. The music teacher forgot it was homework night.
Okay, now let's go to the other questions.
Audio 1.2.
I'm sorry, but I can't come into college this morning. I had a bad cough for about a week. That's gone now, thank goodness, but it's left me with a sore throat. If I talk too much, I think I'll lose my voice, and I have a singing exam at the end of the week. Please tell my tutor I'm having the day off, but will be there tomorrow.
Let's listen one more time.
Audio 1.2.
I'm sorry, but I can't come into college this morning. I had a bad cough for about a week. That's gone now, thank goodness, but it's left me with a sore throat. If I talk too much, I think I'll lose my voice, and I have a singing exam at the end of the week. Please tell my tutor I'm having the day off, but will be there tomorrow.
Now let's go to the third audio for question 5 and 6. Look at question 5 and 6.
Audio 1.3.
It's my birthday, and I would love to take you all to the cinema. We could go to watch the latest superhero film. I always enjoy the action scenes, though no one else does. I know my friend Bet prefers love stories. She wants us to see Heartbreak. It's supposed to be really romantic, but I think it'll be too sad. I'd love to see the scenery, though, as the film was made in my hometown.
Let's listen one more time.
Audio 1.3.
It's my birthday, and I would love to take you all to the cinema. We could go to watch the latest superhero film. I always enjoy the action scenes, though no one else does. I know my friend Bet prefers love stories. She wants us to see Heartbreak. It's supposed to be really romantic, but I think it'll be too sad. I'd love to see the scenery, though, as the film was made in my hometown.
Now we'll go to the last 2 questions. Look at them.
Audio 1.4.
Marie, please come indoors now. It's been a sunny morning, but it's starting to rain now. You can carry on reading that book inside. You promised you'd help me cook dinner, remember? And I'm going to make a start on that in half an hour. It's okay. You've got time to finish the chapter first.
Listen one more time.
Audio 1.4.
Marie, please come indoors now. It's been a sunny morning, but it's starting to rain now. You can carry on reading that book inside. You promised you'd help me cook dinner, remember? And I'm going to make a start on that in half an hour. It's okay. You've got time to finish the chapter first.
Okay, so let's go and let's start checking our answers. Will you be able to check to answer all of the questions, or you weren't able to? So let me ask you, Muhammad Ahmed Zidan, were you able to answer all of the questions, or you weren't?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's find our answers. Let me share with you the answers.
First question.
I would say I would share the answers and you can take to yourself right now. Okay. Here we go. First question is A. And the second question is A. Third one is C. Fourth one is C. Fifth one is C. Question number 6A, 7A, 8B. Kindly on the chat, send me your mark out of 8. So in the chat, send me your mark out of 8. So AA.
Can you show the, okay, just the first and second? Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
AA, triple C, AAB. Again, AA, triple C, AAB. So kindly in the chat, I'm waiting for each one to tell me about his total mark. So I got from, okay, and here, so you didn't. Okay, Marwan. Yeah, okay, yet. Marwali. Okay, one more. Okay, Hajar. Marifei, okay. Okay, great. Ashwan, good job. Yusuf Ali. Okay, Miska, I didn't see yours. So Miska, you haven't sent me yours. Okay, you wrote the answers here. So, okay, so check accordingly.
It's the wrong answer, but I sent it to you in the private chat.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So then, what will we do? I will send you the audio track. So in case if you do have any mistakes, please try to do it one more time. What would be the homework for this part? The homework, my dear students, would be to answer the reading part as I told you. Question 3 and 4. We answered already 1 and 2. So we need 3 and 4 on page 5. So 3 and 4 on page 5. We would need any vocab to be studied that are new to you. Here I wouldn't say which vocab because each one would have different ones. Listening, we already answered them. I send you the audio track so you can listen again in case if you have mistakes. If you don't have mistakes, you don't need to. And it's not homework, but you would do it for yourself. Then we do have another reading text here. All of it would be homework. Any vocab here, please try to study them. Feinting, for example, it's like a trick that people do in games of MMA and WWE that he makes pretend blow in a fight. He makes like if he's hitting in the upper side, but he pretends this, but he doesn't hit here. He hits in another area. So it would be lower. So it's called feinting. It's making pretend blow in a fight. Parrying, it's defending yourself from a weapon. So like defending yourself. Unrally, it's hard to control Veld, it's a name of a place in Africa, grasslands, and this is not really important, but the first three ones are important. If they came to you and rephrasing questions and you don't know them, it would be a bit challenging to you. He gives you the meaning here, but in the test, of course, he wouldn't give them. Then when it comes to the context here, you need to answer the questions 1 to 4 in letter B. Look at the paragraph, find one word that means each of the following. So you need to answer the questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then letter C, you need to give 2 lessons that he learned from his childhood according to the context or the text that you read. So you would answer here B and C. A, you can answer it, but it's not really important here. It's just a skimming exercise to go through it quickly, but B and C are important. So again, what is the homework? Would be B and C on page 15, page 5, question 3 and 4. Listening, you can do it again in case if you do have mistakes to find out where the mistakes or why the mistakes were. And vocabulary of this unit are extremely important to be done. For students who sent me the letter, I checked the test and I sent it back, submitted back. The letter will be checked and sent as soon as possible. For those who didn't send, I'm not sure what to say, but we would have another letter writing homework. So the homework would be here, and the letter I will already, inshallah, send on the group what the homework would be. Any questions? Any question for today? We had a look. Yes, go ahead, Omar.
It's just a question, just a request. Can you send the homework on the group?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, almost okay. So my dear students, what we did today, we went through the types of questions of reading of text 1 and text 2. We went through the types of questions of listening of text 1. We answered some questions here and there to find out how to come. We saw how would we deal with the book. Unit 1, the rest of it would be homework. So we take from this book the pictures, how to describe them, the vocabulary, the new ones for each student, reading and listening for each student. That's all for today. Looking forward to meeting you. Inshallah, the video would be sent to you tomorrow on our group. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Doctor,
Yes, ma'am.
can you just resend the book, because when I try to download it now, it says that it expired and the host. So
Okay,
I sit down and download it.
I will resend it. No worries. Okay, I will resend. And I will send the audio tracks for Unit 1 as well. Might be tomorrow morning, but I will try to do it tonight. Okay. It was really nice being with you, my dear. Looking forward to meeting all of you. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.